let's go ahead and just break into this thing because I like new cards and new cards are fun. I also, really exciting, I did I moved a monitor here so I can see my health easier. I talked about doing that last week. I finally did it. Alrighty. Trash goes over there. I also did start putting all of my ashes stuff into a binder, and I have transitioned my entire Marvel collection over into those side loaders. So good stuff. Alrighty, ashes. All the lines. It's gonna give us another box. This one is white, while the other one that we got last week, which I should have held was or kept was or is black, I should say. So we got the white black going on. I also am curious if anyone knows if they are planning on doing more like magic types, because I think this is everything that they have. I think there's the 6 magic. I also, yeah, I moved everything to one of these Gamegenic trays. I really like these trays. They're like super modular. You can switch them in and out. And so I've just put everything in each one of these trays. But they fit 10 dice. Actually, they fit 12 dice pretty easily. But once you put the 12th dice in there, it's really challenging to get out. So I figured I'd go all of, the Chimera's dice here. Then have, I think these are illusion dice. Have these share and put the 10 dice that come in here. The divine magic dice. These are so pretty. They're like white and gold. Like they're just Ashes does such a good job with the visual aspect of it. Oh my gosh, and they roll well too. Okay, maybe not. They roll medium. The lion, which makes sense, is the top. That makes sense. I get 10 of those, and this Odette Diamond Crest is a mono magic user. So this is. Oh, actually, you know what? We're gonna do this because this looks cool. Boom, right there. Look at that. So she only uses these dice. Part of Ashes is you can mix and match and build decks utilizing multiple different types of magic. I believe, actually, and I haven't gotten into deck building quite yet with Ashes. I want to play through. I think I only have a couple more Phoenixborn on my end that I have not played. I think there's like 2 or 3. And so I'm doing that plus streaming and everything. But once I get all of them, I do want to start deck building and dipping my toe in deck building. I made net deck a couple of things just to kind of see where people's minds are, because that really does help level set me and everything. We're also going to grab some sleeves. We are going to be streaming tonight. Tonight we're going to be doing Astro Knights, which is a game that I've just been thoroughly enjoying. It's kind of the sequel to Aeon's End. I prefer Aeon's End over Astro Knights, but Astro Knights has a lot of really good qualities, so really, really, really excited for that. Alrighty, Odette Diamond Crest, our Phoenixborn here. I keep looking over there because this is normally where it is, but now I have my monitor over here, so we're good. Odette Diamond Crest. We've got a 18 health, battlefield 5, spellboard of only 3. Enter the fray. As a main action, we can exhaust to deal 2 damage to a target unit. Then we deal damage to this Phoenixborn equal to the target unit's attack. And she looks epic in her shard plate and her shard blade. You cannot tell me that she is not a Knight's Radiant. Straight up. Interesting. So 18 health is a nice little chunk of health. Dealing damage to yourself based on the attack coming from a Red Rain's perspective could be very beneficial, especially with a couple of these enemies that aren't, I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if this has, or if the divine magic, if it's has a lot of healing in it, because that could be interesting. Alrighty, we got the Summon Emperor Lion. Can't wait to see this art on this one. It's a main action, 2 middle tier divine magic dice, 1 lower tier. 3 dice is pretty expensive. Place an Emperor Lion conjuration onto your battlefield. So we're going to get 3 of those. Let's go find the Emperor Lion. And then I also want to talk about that. Oh, the Emperor Iron Lion is sick. You can have one of these on the battlefield at any given time. So this game is really new to me. I found about it recently and watched you play it one time. Can you do a quick 1-2 sentence summary of the game? I 100% can. Ooh, this is pressure now. So Ashes Reborn is a follows the living card game model. It is not a living card game because it's from Plaid Hat, not Fantasy Flight, but it follows the living card game model where you buy a product, you know exactly what cards are going to be coming in that product. Until about 6 months ago, it was exclusively a PvP, a player versus player game, where you would take a Phoenixborn, sit across the table from one or multiple opponents, and you won by defeating their Phoenixborn, similar to like Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever, head-to-head player game. More recently, they have created the Red Reigns expansion, which is what we are playing today. This is this board. I don't have the box with me. The Red Reigns expansion turns it into a 1-to-2 player. This is more than 1-to-2 sentence, sorry. A 1-to-2 player cooperative experience. And instead of trying to take out your opponent, you're trying to take out a Chimera, which is the big bad villain if you're familiar with like Marvel Champions. And so they have a starting health, they have levels, and then they have their aspects. So you're mixing and matching the Chimera, who has different powers, with different aspects. So the Storm aspect is going to be doing different things than the Fury aspect, and you can mix and match all of those. And your goal is now to take down the Chimera. You build a deck and you build a dice pool. The dice pool are the mana that you use to spend and summon units onto the battlefield in order to combat the units and eventually defeat the Chimera. Yeah. Was that kind of what you wanted? Or did you want more in depth of like the mechanics? But the Emperor Lion decree, when this unit comes into play, search your draw pile. You may reveal a spell with law in its title and place it into your hand. You may immediately play a law card from your hand without paying any main action or side action cost. Shuffle your draw pile. It's a 3-3-0. I'm sure that's going to mean a lot. Here in a sec. Nice summary. Hey, thanks, Discry. No pressure on those 1-to-2 sentences. I said I don't want to take too much time from your unboxing. That's totally fine. No, I'm here to have fun and interact. So yeah. So ask questions, please, because I think this is a fantastic game that does not get enough like exposure. I think it's a really solid game. I stepped away for 2 minutes and you're explaining what I wanted to know. I have to watch back now. Alrighty. Yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know, Trouble. So basically, this goes on your spell board. Any of the black background cards are summons. They do not go in your deck. They go in like a side deck, and you'll use these actions to summon the creatures. And whenever they get destroyed, they go back, and then you can use them. You can exhaust, pay the cost again to bring these creatures back out. So you're not drawing into the creatures. Now there are allies. I'm sure we'll see. Yeah, there are. Oh my gosh, the art in this game is so good. There are allies that are in your deck, but these are the conjurations, and they're used from these spell books. So that's the Emperor Lion. And then we got the summoned, the Winged Lioness. I have to get out of this habit of looking back here. It's now over here. Summon Winged Lioness. As a main action, you can exhaust it, spend a middle tier and a bottom tier die to place a Winged Lioness Conjuration onto your battlefield. The Winged Lioness Conjuration, we can have 4 of these on the battlefield. So as opposed to the Emperor Lion, we can only have 1 of those, but we can have 4 Lioness. This unit cannot be guarded against. Interesting. It's a 2-2-1 stat line. That's pretty cool. Will you do Flesh and Blood when they release their PVM? What's a PVM? I'm sorry, I don't know what a PVM. But that's interesting. I didn't realize. Is it like a cooperative version? That's cool. Maybe I've played Player vs Monster. Oh, that's cool. People versus Mons. My chat is way too big. I'm losing everyone. No, yeah. So I played. Hello, David. I played Ashes, or not Ashes. I played Flesh and Blood one time and absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. So yeah, Really good. I watched your YouTube yesterday about things to put on YouTube. Maybe a quick 5-minute video in the playlist explaining your games like you just did and what to pick up to get started. Ooh, I like that. That's a good call, Trouble. I like that. Thank you. Yes. That's a cool idea. Yeah. This is a fun game. This is a fun game. I did the which LCG game is similar to you, which I kind of did that, but it's all kind of in one video. Oh, it's David Alexandre. Okay. Did I say it Alexandre? I usually just like abbreviate, but I apologize. David Alexandre. Happy to have you here. Welcome. We got an epic shard blade over here. The Sword of Virtue. This does not have law in the title. This is an action spell, meaning that it does not go on your spell board, but it is a, you play it, it goes into your discard pile. This is actually Odette's unique spell to her, so it can only go in her deck. You can tell that by her little icon in the bottom right. Destroy a target unit or remove all wound tokens and exhaustion tokens from a target unit. That's sick. Costs a main action and 2 lower tier die. That's pretty hype. I'm not gonna lie. Just straight up destroy. Just cancel, unsubscribe from a from a unit. Or if you are, well, I guess your Phoenix Born is not a unit, but like, I mean, like we got 3 lives, 2 life over here. We can do a lot there. And then, do they plan to add more heroes or whatever names of the characters and more enemies? Sounds like there's only one monster to fight against. Actually, right now there are 2, and in the mail a 3rd. So there are more monsters to fight against now. So there are 3 monsters. If you're watching this in 2 weeks, there are 3 monsters, or 3 chimeras, and each one of those comes with 2 aspects. So you can combine the aspects with the different chimeras. So you have like, what is that? 6 different or 12 different options. No, 6. I don't know. Math is really hard. It's super early. But anyways, a lot of different iterations that you can do. I do believe that they are planning on doing more. I know that this, the Red Reigns was kind of through Team Covenant. They were helping with the distribution model there. And I feel like that, like they're working on that. So, and so I think they're doing more. I know that they were at least doing 3 and then they were going to reevaluate after that. But I think that there was at least 3. And I hope that there's more. I hope that there's more. Is there a difference between Ashes and Ashes Reborn? Yes. So Ashes and Ashes Reborn, just like David Alexandre was saying, Reborn is basically the 1.5, reworked a bunch of cards. If you have Ashes, I believe that there is like a update pack that you can buy, and it will give you all the cards and all the errata and everything that you need to like play the Reborn. Sounds kind of fun, but they need to add more stuff. I want Marvel. Yeah, Marvel Champions amount. Marvel Champions amount of content. Yes, 100%. Yes. I want that. I want that. Trouble. So if I start just get Reborn, absolutely yes. And I believe at least at a time there was a deal on the Team Covenant website where you could buy like the Red Reigns and the core set for like a discounted price. It was like a bundle pricing. So I don't know if that's still available, but that's where I got mine, and it was affordable. But yeah. No, yeah, there's a good number of combinations that you can do, and then each one of the chimeras has, I think, like 6 different difficulty levels. And so I've only played like the first, I think I played the what is it, the Corpse of Viros, the first one. I think I've only played that one up to like level 3, because I'm not the best at the game yet. But they have a significant amount of Phoenix Born. Actually, let's look at that. Yeah. So these are all at least the Phoenix Born that they have in the game at the printing of the initial Red Reigns. I don't know if they've released more, but these are all like the heroes in the game. So there's a lot of heroes. There's a lot of heroes in the game. If you got those black reddish boxes, you got the 1.5. Yep. Yeah. So I don't know if you can see it really well, but right behind my right shoulder, maybe left for you all, that's the box that you want. I think these LCG type games need to offer packs of just duplicate cards for deck building. Earthborn Rangers does that. Earthborn Rangers does that. I was really happy with how Earthborn Rangers did it, where you could buy a card doubler, where it wasn't another expansion or anything. It was just a smaller box, and it was doubling of the player cards. Also, World Breakers, which is a really cool game, really fun uh, game where they have just added kind of a PvE mode. They did that as well. Also, what would be the buying order here? You said there's a 1v1 box. Do I need to buy that one and the solo expansion, or is there a new box specifically for solo and co-op? So you have to buy the Ashes Reborn core box, the red one that you got. Then you have to buy the Corpse of Vyros, the red rains. That's going to give you all of the board. It's going to give you all of the Chimera dice, which are these white dice, and all of the tokens that you need to play. After that, it's a LCG model. You can buy whatever and whatever you want. So kind of whatever. So you have to buy the big box and at least the first red range, which is the Corpse of Vyros, which has this dude on the cover. And it's a little bit bigger than the other Red Rains expansions that are out. We got heal. Well, okay, I was right on with the with the prediction there. Heal, action spell, side action, middle action die. Remove all wound tokens from target unit or 2 wound tokens from a target Phoenixborn. Alrighty, that's cool. So now we can use our ability to deal 2 damage and then heal. With 18 total health, we can do good there. Yeah, that's fun. So a core box and a solo copy expansion. Yep, you got it. And that's going to give you, I don't even know, a lot of Phoenixborn. It's a lot of content. Just looked up 70 for both. That's actually pretty inexpensive. I was not expecting it to be that cheap. If you buy 30% if you buy $250 or more. Nice. I got that. I'm asking about the solo co-op stuff. Oh, yeah. So just that first expansion, the Corpse of Vyros, the Red Rains Corpse of Vyros is what you need to get started with all the content. It's basically a core box for the co-op stuff. So yeah, that's what you need. But yeah, $70 for both is really inexpensive. I was expecting it to be like 100, 110, honestly, because you get a lot of action in, like, honestly, the production of like the dice, the custom dice, I thought was going to drive the price, but that's awesome. Cool. We got power through right here. Alteration spell. So this attaches to a unit, side action, middle tier die. The unit now has the following ability: Overkill 1. After this unit destroys the unit an opponent controls by attacking, deal 1 damage to that opponent's target Phoenixborn and gives +1 attack. That's pretty hype. That's awesome. Yeah, 70 USD is kind of in the range of other LCG boxes. Yeah, and which is great because the other LCG boxes don't have, all these like custom dice and stuff. And so, I think it was 70 for both the core and the Red Rains. So you're getting that's yeah, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with that pricing actually. Nice. I like power through. +1 attack is always nice. It will be interesting, and like I'm already starting to kind of think about how some of these cards can interact with some of the other cards in the game. My mind always goes back to the big snake that eats everything and gets stronger the more it eats. Yes, but at one point they will release Chimera around dices that came from the deluxe, and then if you want to play the precons, you'll have to get the expansion, like the one Nelson is unboxing. Yeah, so there are these deluxe precons, and then there are actually precons that use the dice that are in. Actually, I think they use the dice that are in here as well, but they use like the black, pink, blue, and purple dice all come in the core. And there are precons for Phoenixborns that are like kind of in a Marvel Champion size box that use those dice as well. These are bigger because they come with the big deck box and a new set of dice. Normal set is 50 and expansion is 40, so good deal for 70. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, $70 is very easy to jump into. For now, we have Red Rains around. Ceremonial and Nature and Charm is coming. Sweet. Yeah. Yeah, because each one of the red rains also comes with kind of a modified uh personal set of cards for a specific Phoenixborn. So like these Phoenixborn that come with, uh these unique cards that only Odette can use the Sword of Virtue. There there are other cards that you can swap in and out, not necessarily for Odette, but for the Phoenixborn that come in the Red Rains expansion, which is pretty cool. We got a ready spell. This goes on our spell board here. Law of Sight. When this spell comes into play, you may draw up to 2 cards. No player may play reaction spells. Oh wow, okay. This is a side action, 1 middle, 1 lower tier. Bound. This card cannot be discarded from your spell board. When you meditate, discard this card at the end of the round. Oh, okay, okay. I was like, wow, that seems really good. Just canceling every single one of their reaction spells, that seems good, but it is fleeting, so it's going to go away. Dice Throne is crazy on their prices. In a ton of dice, but most of the dice are just the same different icon, which I think does really drive up the manufacturing cost there. I think custom dice is something that is not inexpensive to manufacture, unfortunately. But yeah, I like Dice Throne. I like Dice Throne. I need to play the new co-op mode. I haven't tried that yet. I think that sounds really cool. We got Law of Assurance. This is another fleeting ready spell, side action, 1 middle tier dice. When this spell comes into play, change all the dice in your active pool to their class side, which I believe, I assume class side is the top tier, but if someone knows that, please please confirm that for me. Players may not reroll or change the level of dice in an opponent's active pool. Interesting. This card cannot be discarded, and discard this card at the end of the round. Fleeting. Nice. So this card cannot be discarded. Our players may not reroll or change level of dice in an opponent's active pool. So that's nice. It kind of protects. I'm not sure. We're doing the might aspect. I know the storm aspect had a lot of manipulation of dice from this new expansion, but that'd be really nice to save some of those dice. This feels like, the control type style of play. We got the meteor, which is epic looking. Oh my gosh. Odette's just summoning a meteor. It is a main and a side action. Okay, I haven't seen that before. 2 middle tier die, deal 1 damage to all units, then deal damage to all units equal to the number of top tier die to play for this spell. That's really cool. So this is as close to a black hole as I've seen in Ashes. So it takes your entire turn. If you spend 2 top tier dices, you're dealing 3 damage to all units. That's interesting. Very, very interesting. That's the panic button right there, because it does. Yeah, it deals 1 damage. It's not just enemy units. It is your units as well. So yeah, that's kind of fun. Next up, we got a ally, our shield mage right here. Such a beautiful card. Side action to play an ally, which is pretty nice. Middle tier, lower tier, defensive aura. Units you control cannot be targeted by attacks and opponent controls. Interesting. So I wonder, if I had known this, I would have looked it up before. But how does that work with like the Chimera? Do they target the Phoenixborn at that point? I think they do. Units you control cannot be targeted by attacks and opponent controls. Yeah. So my guess means that they're just throwing the damage at your Phoenixborn, and that's because your Phoenixborn is not a unit. They always attack the first valid target, so it would be the Phoenixborn, right? Because if there's no valid target, so units you control cannot be targeted by attacks and opponent controls. So if there are no valid targets for units, they attack the Phoenixborn. I believe that's how that works. I think it's under the targeting rules. Hello, Pure Bones. How you doing? Welcome. How's your Wednesday? So far, so good. I'm happy to hear it. Nice. Good. Has anyone ever played this 2-player? Okay, so yeah. Chimera attacks declares one attacker, either specified unit or leftmost. Aspects will target the player's leftmost or rightmost unit or their Phoenixborn as indicated. Some card effects prevent an aspect from attacking a unit. In such a case, the aspect will target the next leftmost, rightmost unit. If it cannot target any unit, it will target the Phoenixborn instead. Boom. I am. I'm having a great day. Pure Bones, thank you for the subscription with Amazon Prime. 14 months. Excellent. Thank you so very much. Oh my gosh, y'all are amazing. That's exciting. Yes, they attack the Phoenixborn if they can't attack a unit. Excellent. Thank you, David Alexandre. Holy Knight. Epic, epic. This reminds me of, and I'm not gonna remember the name of the class, but in Summoner Wars, and Ashes and Summoner Wars kind of came out around the same time. They're both Plaid Hat games, and I remember myself kind of waffling back and forth between if I wanted to play Ashes or Summoner Wars. I ended up going like pretty heavy into Summoner Wars because they had an app and it was just easier to play. But my favorite faction in Summoner Wars were like the Protector Healer Knights, and this looks like one of the knights that they had. Holy Knight takes 3 dice, 1 of each tier, a main action, magic armor. This unit cannot be targeted by spells and opponent controls. Oh ho ho, snap. Wow, 3/3/2. That's a big unit right there. That's a big unit. So how similar is this to Marvel Champions? Do you get an enemy and your hero, create your deck and play, or you do need to set up everything in Arkham Horror? I would say in terms of setup, it is probably easier than Marvel Champions, just because like you pick an enemy. Here, we can look at this. You pick an enemy, which is the Frostwind Scourge. Ignore these cards. And you pick a aspect, which is basically their deck. And so there's not a Frostwild Scourge deck. That's all their abilities are dictated by these cards here. And then you pick a deck, and all my other decks are not around, but you take this, and based on what aspect you're playing, you set it up. I'm done setting up.